Hello everyone, good morning, or whatever time you're joining me. This one is for Trump's Tuesday, May 15th. Probably is going to be with Mr. Bonesaw, MBS, over in Saudi Arabia, or at some point today. I don't understand how, well, if it's a 15-hour flight or somewhere in there, maybe they go faster because it's straight. Well, I don't know. I honestly just have no idea. All I know is they go out of Andrews Air Force Base in Washington, D.C., and how many hours exactly it takes him, I don't know. So does he show up on, is he there on the 14th? I don't know. But let's just look at his health. Let's look at his health, and whatever else comes through, I'll see what I can do with that. Meanwhile, I hope you guys are all doing well. And Bev, thank you for letting me know that you like this other background here, but I noticed my camera was making noise. If I have something with print here, it helps. The one little box doesn't seem to do enough, but... yeah. Oh, and I had a couple of you ask me if the cards I'm using come with the astrological glyphs, and no, they do not. There might be some decks out there that do, but I drew mine in. So, okay, there we go. Forces in motion for him is with the Five of Wands coming through reverse. It's Saturn and Leo, so it's lessons in how to manage power, but for him, he's struggling because it's come through reversed. Upright is kind of like who lands on top, who wants to be on top. Well, he always wants to be on top. God, remember years ago how he pushed himself through? There was it a G20 or a G? I don't know. It was some meeting where everyone from all the different countries was there. It's probably G20, right? And he like pushed himself in line. He just went, because such an idiot. I can't believe he did that. And the other guy's going like, whoa, dude. Wow. So anyway, that's pretty much, that's what the card means, upright. But reversed, we have a very different flavor. And this is the forces in motion all day. And when we have this card show up for what's going on, this is like chronic fatigue. This is, I'm not saying he has chronic fatigue, but this would be my card for it. This is like struggling on one level to have, attitudes that are productive rather than destructive. And we all know he's always destructive. This is our card for feeling, either having or feeling impotent. It's a card for heart issues, and there's lessons in power management for him. And he's got this, like, I don't know, maybe upright, we're looking for a desperate need for approval. When it's reversed, he could be compromising. It could be a day of compromising, giving to get kind of a thing, right? He might be just focusing on his goals at the least, like focusing on his goals and trying to avoid conflict, because I don't think he thinks he's safe anywhere he goes. And his biggest challenge is Mr. Bonesaw himself. Now, I have no idea what sign the guy is, but he's definitely under the domain of the devil, wouldn't you think? In the challenge position, we're talking, blindness, blind spots, not knowing what's coming. He really does need to take time off. He's in, the throes of old age, right? We all know what that's like. I mean, I'm over here pushing 71, and it's like I really have to manage my energy. And otherwise, you get sick. Otherwise, you hurt yourself and you get sick. Well, he just keeps going, and he uses drugs. So that's just, at some point, it's just going to be a big faceplant. He's just going to hit a wall. But This is our card for chronically numbing out. This is our card for actually being deeply unhappy inside and trapped in a downward spiral of our own or the person's, his own, poor choices in the past. And his negative health is affecting his public persona. That's what's happening. Okay, in the morning, I guess I'll be greeting him with a big breakfast, but he's overwhelmed. Now, just because this card comes through upright doesn't really mean that this Jupiter in Pisces, it's usually wishes fulfilled, but why? If your wishes are fulfilled, why are you sitting there with your hands over your chest kind of defended? Well, some people call it the smug merchant card. I think that MBS is the one in control. Wouldn't you think? So, anyway, for those of us that are learning, the keywords for this card are, fulfillment of wishes, feeling content. Jupiter can bring in healing. It can also bring in expansion, and Jupiter can bring in loss. It just does, or it just can. I definitely have had that, but it does usually lead to something better, right? Most people don't look at Jupiter that way, but I do, and I've trained with Stephen Forrest, and he does, and we both. We all have experiences of transits with Jupiter where, this didn't go like I wanted, but it did work out better in the long run. So in Pisces, he might be feeling a little out of control. He's definitely, I don't think because he's not the kind of guy that takes any self-responsibility, and he may be used, is what I'm feeling there. Used and maybe walking away feeling, in the morning at least, feeling like, oh God, I need a nap, right? That would make sense to me. I imagine he can sleep well on his flight over, though. But, okay, so with, back to, like I promised 10 minutes ago, sorry. Keywords for this card are comfort and happiness and rewards and success. It's also our card for greedy, materialistic, exploitive people. And when it's reversed, but it didn't come through reverse, so I have to go with he's kind of fat and happy in the morning, or feeling full. When it comes to, and maybe he gets an IV drip on the way over in the plane, because he's set up with everything he needs wherever he goes. Now, when it comes to the Ten of Wands, it's our card of, it's Saturn and Sag, so you're getting there. You've got the directional focus, although this guy can't see his feet. But it's it's burden and it's hard work and it's stress, and I think he's having a hard time getting through the morning, honestly. Yeah. Now, he could be feeling overwhelmed when it's kind of like drudgery because he's having to listen to other people, and he likes to be the one that's always talking. Then again, maybe he's tired enough that he's listening. This is a card of getting something done, though. It is a card of achievement, so I can't say it's a major problems. And because it's reversed, I can't even go with the health issues, which are liver and gout and high blood pressure. We know he's got that already. Okay, whoa. Now, by noontime, let's just say midday, he's stuck with the death card reversed. He's stuck in some vicious circles of his dysfunctional family upbringing. On the health level, the Ten of Cups reverse. It's Mars and Pisces, so you're wanting bliss and wanting happiness, but when it's reversed, you're not going to get it. instead for him, we're looking at lack of stability. Just maybe he's in a chaotic environment by the time, midday rolls around, and he's feeling really stuck. But health issues have to do with nutritional deficiencies. I think that he's getting something different than he needs to eat, and he can't really say because of his pride, And we all know pride comes before the fall. He's not one to say, oh, that guy really can't eat that, or food. It's like, I think food is not going to go well with him. Because look how full he is here, and then he's burdened. And then, so maybe a morning meeting doesn't go well, but he does eat everything because it tastes good, and then he doesn't digest it well. And then it's all kind of stuck inside of him. And, it's hard enough traveling when you're not someone like him. Then again, his moon and Sag, you would think he'd be okay, traveling, but... So, excuse me, oh, goodness, again, please don't bring on a coughing jag with this guy again. But there's something... I don't know that he's going to have an unexpected surgery, but that can be something with this card. I get the feeling he might be needing to want to go back to his plane and have another IV injection or something, or B12 or something like that. IV drip or B12 hit. He's needing something. With the death card reversed, like I was saying before, it's just stagnant. It's really just stagnant, and it's ruled by Scorpio, so this would be the process of elimination. So we're talking constipated, we're talking, bladder, colon problems, not able to move on, and he's in the throes of power and control issues, and maybe even being triggered in survival issues. So, yeah, okay. The evening, we've got the Nine of Swords and the Magician, and then we also have, later in the evening, we have the Wheel of Fortune and the Seven of Pentacles. Okay, so with the Nine of Swords reversed, on the health level, this is a headache, could even be a migraine. He could be having dreams of, that are just terrible, like nightmares. The mind won't shut off. Mars in Gemini, the mind just keeps going and going and going. This is sometimes a card of falling down a ladder. I can't imagine him climbing on ladders, but he does go up and down steps to get on planes and in all types of other places. That's interesting. I'm not saying it's going to for sure happen. I'm not predicting here when I do readings. I'm looking at the meanings of cards, and then they always tend to teach me later on what they really mean. Like yesterday, that Seven of Swords over here reversed with the Ace of Pentacles. Well, he wound up announcing the Ace of Pentacles is often announcements, and I saw it as like a pill. And I thought, well, yeah, maybe he's getting some new pills or something, or he's not getting away yet. And pills, medication can sometimes be, you can take too much or you don't have the right dosage. And I was thinking, maybe something like that. But it turns out he made an announcement about reducing drug prices, and I think it was all a big deflection around the fact that he couldn't get away with all the news talking about getting a new plane from Qatar, or Qatar, however you say it. Oh, and I spelled it wrong. I said it was Qutar. It's nothing like English. it's Qatar. So there's a little correction there. But yeah, so I go back and learn based on the cards what they were really trying to say. Okay, but anyway, back over here, Yeah, nightmares, really challenging times. When it's reversed, it can be feeling very tormented, and insomniac kind of problems, but at the very least a headache. The Magician, when it comes through upright, well, either way, it deals, because it's Mercury, ruled by Mercury, so Gemini and Virgo, but also it rules the brain and the shoulders and the arms and the lungs, right? This is him wanting to be on top of things, and he's probably having a hard time with going to sleep, but what he's doing while he's fallen asleep is saying affirmations, is what I'm getting, because we have to remember he has, often talked about being a fan of Norman Vincent Peale and all these books that he would talk about. You say, it's like the power of the word, basically. I don't need to go on with it anymore, but I think that's what he's doing. And he's probably thinking about, like, oh, well, I should have said this, or because we've got, like regret and trouble, like, oh no, what happened? But next time I'm going to say this, and blah, blah, blah. And maybe he's literally afraid of, the fear of hanging out with Mr. Bonesaw. Maybe it doesn't happen earlier in the day, and this is going into the night, because it's going to happen the next day. Because he's, I wanted to say thank you to Chris for giving me some dates. They're saying that the news, sources are saying that he'll be with the Saudis on, so today, Tuesday and Wednesday, but maybe it's later, because of how long it takes to travel there. So this could be him trying to recuperate, but he can't really. And then later in the evening, the Wheel of Fortune isn't bad at all, but it does bring in change. And this would be him exercising his free will that leads to changes, turning points, and that bring in destiny. Because you make the change, or you make the decision, and then it puts you somewhere on the wheel. Well, I don't think he's ever on top of wheel with the Saudis. It's just all about use and abuse. So the Seven of Pentacles is him trying to make choices about his return on investment with them. That's all he's thinking about. On the health level, with the Wheel of Fortune, this is our card for liver problems. It's not reversed, so I can't say it's toxic yet, but liver problems, gout, high blood pressure. He is obese. I know he says he's 224, but that's insane. That's insane. Yeah. So there's that. Yeah. The Seven of Pentacles, on the level of looking at it from the perspective of health, because it's Saturn in Taurus, this could be TMJ issues. This could be eating disorders, like maybe he tries to eat to get to sleep or something like that, or he can't eat. Maybe he's having a hard time eating. This one I don't really feel too much. It can be, it didn't come through reverse, but when it does, it can be, that could have just been a bad card flop for me, but it is the card of OCDs and neck problems. And like I said, TMJ. And, anybody that, at least for me, in my body, the first part of my body that'll give me trouble if I'm working too much or too hard is my neck. My neck will always tell me to, okay, it's time to stop. You guys, let me know if it's the same way for you. Okay, let's see what was on the bottom. Ooh, we've got the Two of Swords reversed. Whoa, and the Eight of Pentacles reversed. Okay, so these two cards relate to the foundation of the reading. So foundationally for him, with the Two of Swords coming through reverse, it's the Moon in Libra. So he's got delays, and he can't make decisions. And this is also a card of being a two-faced liar and a cheater, but his lies might be exposed. And it's also a card for information overload, overwhelm, like TMI. And then also, and this makes sense with the whole day, because he's having to prepare to go. Or actually, no, he's going today. I'm doing this reading on Monday. But I'm sure he's been talking to people the whole time, and he is overwhelmed, and then he's always trying to spin everything to get what he wants, so it's always lies. This is, though, when this card comes through reversed on the health level, this is drugs. Moon and Libra. You need something in order to keep yourself balanced or get yourself balanced, Man. Okay, now the Eight of Pentacles reversed. This is him being lazy and bored, but also really needing that external validation. On the body levels with health, it is digestion, ulcers, IBS, diarrhea and constipation, because they go together. That's how it works. I don't know if you've ever been sick, but, if you get the stomach flu and you have diarrhea, then usually you don't go the next day because it's all cleaned out. And when it comes to drugs, opiates, sleeping pills, and pain medication will always make a person constipated. That's just part and parcel of the drug. I don't know. I never took one, but I do a lot of reading and studying, and that's the way it works. So, okay, I think this is it. I don't have anything else to say. I welcome your comments and anything you guys get with the cards, because I know so many of you out there are either readers yourself or you've been taking my lessons. You're in my membership at the lessons level, and you guys are good. Surprise me all the time, every week. Okay, take care. Bye.